Chapter 1. The Mask of Virtue. I always believed evil had a face. Cold eyes, sharp smirks, the stuff of villains in stories. But real evil, it doesn't look like a monster. It looks like your neighbor, your co-worker, your friend. When Marcus Aurelius warned, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength," I didn't yet understand he meant calm, not just in storms of chaos, but storms of deception, and I was about to walk into one. It started with Julian. He was perfect, a rising star in our corporate firm, eloquent, charming, philanthropic. He brought cookies for the interns and gave speeches about unity. People loved him. I respected him, at first, until the signs began. Sign 1, the compliment that feels like a cut. Julian praised me too perfectly. "Your presentation was amazing," for someone with so little experience. The praise was always layered with poison. I'd laugh it off, but something inside winced. Sign 2, they mirror you, but only to manipulate. He liked what I liked, quoted my favorite Stoics, adopted my style of speech. But when I changed, he didn't. He adapted. Mirroring without authenticity is mimicry used to gain your trust. Sign 3. They create chaos. Silently, documents vanished. Emails were mysteriously never received. Clients misinformed. Each time, Julian offered to help clean up, like a hero appearing at the perfect moment. It was subtle. Chillingly subtle. One night, after a quarterly meeting that went sideways, I sat alone rereading Meditations. Aurelius wrote, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change." I asked myself, what if the mistake wasn't in me, but in trusting Julian? That's when I started keeping notes. Every remark, every action, every coincidence. Patterns emerged, like footprints on a snowy path, leading not toward misunderstanding, but toward manipulation. Then came the Phoan, Earth sign, sign 4. They drain your energy while smiling. Julian always arrived when I was vulnerable, after long meetings, after disagreements with upper management. He offered encouragement that somehow made me feel smaller. "You're strong, considering where you came from." It was backhanded generosity. He wanted me to need him, to doubt myself without him. Sign 5, the spotlight tilt. He praised others publicly, only when it dimmed someone else. At one awards event, he said, "Emma did great, but she learned from Ethan," smiling at me while the crowd clapped for him. He positioned others as stepping stones for his own ascent. It was then I realized, this wasn't ambition. This was calculation. He wasn't a friend. He was a predator, cloaked in charisma. Chapter 2. The Stoic Lens. I began to see through the fog. Seneca once warned, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." But what if your imagination is the only place you feel safe, and the real danger wears a tailored suit? Julian was climbing fast. He'd been recommended for a regional leadership position. He'd started mentoring junior associates, carefully selecting the most emotionally vulnerable, drawing them in. One, a young man named Dylan, broke down in the break room. "He says I'm not tough enough for this job," Dylan muttered. "But then he tells me he believes in me. It's confusing." I saw it clearly now. Evil doesn't just harm you. It makes you question whether you're being harmed at all. Sign 6. Gaslighting disguised as guidance. Julian's tactics weren't random. When people pushed back, he blamed miscommunication. "You misunderstood me," he'd say with a hurt look. "You know I'd never mean it that way." But it was always that way. One morning, I confronted him privately, calmly, stoically. "You've been undermining me," I said, "and others." He looked stunned, then sad. "I'm sorry you feel that way." That phrase, "I'm sorry you feel that way." Not, "I'm sorry I did something," but "you feel that way." It was emotional sleight of hand, making me the aggressor for reacting. That phrase, "I'm sorry you feel that way." Not, "I'm sorry I did something," but "you feel that way." It was emotional sleight of hand, making me the aggressor for reacting. Sign 7, the apology. Without accountability. Evil apologizes often, but never sincerely. It uses apology as a tool to reset trust just enough to continue the cycle. Still, I didn't rage. I didn't expose him yet. I followed Epictetus's teaching. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Instead of reacting, I built a case. Others joined me. Dylan, Emma, even senior staff. We shared notes, tracked meetings, verified inconsistencies, compiled testimonies, all without revealing our strategy. Julian had built his reputation like a house of mirrors, but we were polishing the glass. Sign 8. They fear truth more than failure. When Julian sensed change, cold glances, shortened conversations, he grew desperate. He hosted an impromptu team-building retreat, smiled harder, joked louder, but behind his eyes, panic. The truth was nearing, and evil panics at the scent of exposure. On the final day of the retreat, we presented our findings to HR, documented manipulation, witness statements, audio clips. The truth laid bare. Chapter 3. Unmasking Evil. The fall was swift. Julian denied everything at first, accused us of conspiracy, claimed we were threatened by his success. But truth is an unmovable boulder, and when it rolls, it crushes deceit. He was removed from his role. An investigation launched. Many of his protégés resigned, some horrified, others complicit. The ripple spread wide. Yet, I didn't feel joy. I felt clarity. Sign 9. Evil doesn't think it's evil. Julian believed he was justified. He thought manipulation was strategy, that gaslighting was motivation, that charm was leadership. Evil rarely knows it's evil. That's what makes it dangerous. I took a walk that evening, re-redden. Aurelius under the glow of street lamps. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Julian had spent years crafting the illusion of goodness, but Stoicism teaches that virtue is not seen. It is lived, quietly, consistently. I looked inward. Had I seen the signs early enough? Had I doubted myself when I shouldn't have? Had I let charm blind me to character? Yes, I had. But evil loses power the moment it is recognized. It thrives in ambiguity. It feeds on doubt. But clarity, Stoic clarity, chokes it at the root. Sign 10. Evil fears the resilient soul. A soul unshaken by flattery. A mind guided by principle, not popularity. That is what evil fears most. Not confrontation, but calm defiance. Julian left quietly. No farewell speech, no legacy. I stayed, not to celebrate his downfall, but to protect the others. To build a culture where integrity wasn't a strategy, but a standard. Now, whenever I feel doubt, I remember this. You don't defeat evil by being louder than it. You defeat it by standing still while it burns itself down. That is the Stoic way. Final message to viewers. Be vigilant. Evil doesn't always shout. Sometimes it smiles. Learn the signs. Trust your instincts. Guard your peace. And always remember what the Stoics taught us. You are not what others do to you. You are how you choose to respond. If this helped you spot someone toxic in your life, drop a comment and share it with someone who needs this message. Evil hides best in silence. Let's bring it to light.